We are beginning a new book to read through these next few weeks. It is the book of Genesis. It is the first book of the Bible, the first book of the New Testament. Historically, many thought that this book, along with the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, known as the Pentateuch, were actually written by Moses. We have to remember that writing of Scripture and the documentation of Scripture was not a common thing until more recent centuries. So this is a story that has been passed down, shared, told by mouth. And so the book of Genesis, as we will see, comes from many different sources. And so it is a compilation of sources about the beginning of God's relationship with God's people. Genesis means the beginning of something or coming into being. And so the first narrative we hear is the story of creation. You might find as you go through the first couple days of our reading that there are actually 2 sort of creation stories. And I want you to compare a little bit of the difference of how humankind was related and think about how this has affected a lot of things in our society and how we understand. It is a narrative or account of the early and first relationships between God and God's people. We do not turn to the Bible for scientific information. We do not turn to the Bible for necessarily historical information. The Bible reveals to us the God of our relationship. Martin Luther said that the Bible is the manger of Christ, that it is through the Bible that we learn about Jesus. Now, the Old Testament is pre-Jesus, but as we know from the first chapter of John, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, is that Jesus actually, as part of the Trinity, was present in the beginning. It wasn't until later that Jesus revealed God's self to us in human form. We're going to hear stories that are familiar. The creation story, the story of Noah and the flood, the fall into sin. We will learn about Cain and Abel. We'll be introduced to Abraham and Sarah, to Jacob and to Joseph. There are many great stories in the book of Genesis. As an introduction and an overview, I'm going to invite you to begin by looking at a video from the Bible Project. If you haven't had a chance to look at videos from the Bible Project, I could encourage you to do so. They have great overviews of Bible, of concepts, of theology, and it is a good place to sort of begin. So as we begin today, I invite you to review the overview of Genesis 1 through 11 as we begin this study. The link will be below. And tomorrow we will begin with Genesis chapter 1.